So it looks like we're going to be getting State of Decay 3 a lot earlier than I anticipated, which is good because I enjoy these games, man. What's going on, you guys? Gaming out here, coming at you with another video. Jez Cordon, he tends to like State of Decay just as much as I do. You guys know I've made a few videos on this channel in terms of State of Decay. I played the first one. I played a far amount of the second one, and it's always a formula that I feel is done very well. You know, they kind of hinted in the past that they were going to go more towards like a survival aspect, and I disagree. I don't want them to go full-blown survival, but we'll get that. I think that's going to be a different video. I think we're going to talk about what I personally want from State of Decay 3, because that's not what this video is about. This video is about we might get State of Decay 3 relatively soon. And gaming matters, man, because you guys know these gaming streets move fast. Jez Cordon over there on the Xbox 2. He's talked about State of Decay multiple times, and today is no different. He said this 3 days ago on Xbox 2, and he's just talking about where Xbox is looking 2026 and what could you expect from it. He did go a little bit on this where I kind of figured State of Decay would be like a holiday 2026 type of game, but it's looking like it's going to be a little bit sooner than that. What we're going to do is we're going to pop over here and we're going to see what Jez Cordon has to say. Shout out to Jez Cordon, man. This dude is by far the best asset to YouTubers all around the land. When you wake up and you have nothing to talk about, leave it to Jez Cordon to drop something, and now you have something to talk about. So let's pop over here. Let's listen to what Jez Cordon has to say in this particular thing when it comes to State of Decay 3. Keep in mind, Jez is a huge fan of State of Decay. Like I said earlier, he's probably a bigger fan than I am. But I digress. Let's go ahead and listen to it.
Then give our launch date, maybe. But if it isn't GTA related, and let's face it, most likely is. But let's just imagine it's not GTA related. Maybe they're just like deciding around when some of their other games are launching. Because I've heard that State of Decay 3 could be launching in the first half of next year.
Okay.
So you don't want to launch Fable on top of State of Decay 3 because from what I've heard, State of Decay 3's could be a banger, you know. A serious banger.
So you're looking at State of Decay 3 in the first 6 months of next year, between like January and June, essentially.
That's what I've heard. So like, you know, take it as a podcast rumor and not a source report. I mean, well, obviously there's a source here, but it's not something I'd be confident enough to put in a report. It's just for the sake of podcast discussion. But let's assume like it's just an example. You know, they could be waiting to see where some of their other games land before they start committing to a Fable launch window. So if I had to guess, Microsoft themselves doesn't know, and probably there's other factors mitigating whether or not they're gonna launch Fable wherever they decide to launch it.
So as you can see, Microsoft clearly don't know what they're doing either in terms of release dates. That's the good thing about, you know, regardless how I feel about the multi-platform approach, Microsoft and Xbox have never been in a particular situation that they've ever been with these types where they're relying solely on their own games. You know, they got so many games that they have to deliberately delay stuff so they're not laying on top of each other. And even if they start delaying stuff because they're on top of each other, there's still a good chance that it's still going to be on top of something. You know, Fable was delayed out of 2025, and I'm hoping that we get that early 2026. But I will say, if I have to wait another like 8 months to play Fable, I'm okay with that if we end up getting State of Decay at like January, February, March of 2026. That means most likely we will see State of Decay 3 at this upcoming event, the June event that they're going to do, and we're going to see more of the gameplay, more of, you know, the changes they've made since the second one. I do know that State of Decay Undead Labs went through a huge like kind of development nightmare when it comes to State of Decay 3. They had like entire leadership changes. Like, I used to know a few people at Undead Labs, like a few, probably 5 or 6. I no longer know one person at Undead Labs. Undead Labs is completely, a mythical beast to me at this point. And, I want the game to do well. I want the game to come out, function correctly. Now, I understand there's a lot of people that want the survival aspect that you would see in these Survivor games. And I think it would work very well in a game like State of Decay. But I want that single player aspect to me. And I think that is something that they could do both on. Undead Labs, to a lot of people, have something to prove. Just like I feel like Compulsion does. They got to prove that they deserve their seat at the table. And I feel like State of Decay 2 definitely took concepts from State of Decay 1 and expanded on it, but it could have been better, in my opinion. I don't like the concept of State of Decay 2 when it was like, make your own story. I'm not a writer. I want you to make my story. So I want that in State of Decay 3. Give me a full-blown story about survival, about betrayal, because that's another thing I felt was very missing in State of Decay 2. This is a very rough world. Zombie apocalypse, there's a lot of people that act like they want to be part of a zombie apocalypse. No. Because 9 times out of 10, you a zombie, my dude. He's not in the apocalypse. You're not a survivor. You a zombie. And I think people, they didn't do a good job at explaining on, not only do you have to worry about the zombies themselves, but you have to worry about the survivors. And I feel like they can do better in that. And, we need more settlements. We need more trading between posts. There's a lot of things that they could do better on State of Decay 2. And I'm hoping they take that feedback from State of Decay 2. Because what State of Decay 2 get, a 69 or something like that on Metacritic? So clearly it can improve. You don't get those kind of scores unless you have drastic room for improvement. Obviously, there could be some people that just simply don't like that type of games. There could be people that don't like the Xbox brand in general. But I do feel like we could all agree that State of Decay 2 could have improved in a lot of aspects. But look, man, State of Decay 3, I will say that if I don't get a Fable in the first couple months of 2026, I will accept State of Decay in its place. I want Fable more, but I really love the State of Decay franchise, and I feel like Undead Labs, if they were just giving, a proper development cycle with the proper team, because I know they wanted to expand during the State of Decay 2, and they got to a little bit, but, maybe a new engine. I don't know if they came out open and said what this engine's about. Like I said, Jez is extreme fan. I am going to make a video on what I want from State of Decay, so definitely sub to the channel if you want to take place in that. I'll have to actually replay State of Decay. One thing that they always do that I really appreciate Undead Labs is they support these games for years. They support it to the point where I'm annoyed they keep supporting it because I want the sequel. And I keep seeing them releasing more and more info for the game that's already out, and I want the sequel. So State of Decay 3 is definitely going to be a thing, and I think we're all going to see it within the next 6 months. I'm hoping that we have some previews. Maybe I'll be able to get my hands on it sometime this year because, people, influencers and stuff, we get to be able to give our opinions on stuff. So hopefully Xbox will invite your boy out to that so I can give you my opinion on State of Decay. Look, I'm not the biggest, familiar thing. I do think there are people in the community that play State of Decay more than me, but I definitely have played a lot of State of Decay, and I think that this is a franchise that could be the best zombie type of franchise ever. Obviously, you got stuff like Dying Light, stuff like Dead Island, and I think those games are going to be their own unique thing. But in terms of like a real survival thing, besides maybe like 7 Days to Die, I personally believe State of Decay can do something that no one else is doing when it comes to zombies. They just got to get that formula right. And I think they could do it. I really do think they can do it. But when you put in the comment section below what you guys feel about this, I'm very curious you guys' opinion. If we do get this in January, February, or March of next year, that would be a quick turnover. We pretty much get a release date or like some serious gameplay, because we've gotten some like clips of gameplay in a trailer, but we've never got like full-blown uninterrupted gameplay. And I think We'll probably see that. We'll probably see it at the direct that's happening here soon. But anyway, I'm excited, man. I'm hype. Xbox got plenty of games that we could play from Jez Cordon's mouth. Hopefully he's right on here. Jez Cordon normally is right. Obviously, there are occasions where he gets stuff wrong, but normally he is right when it comes to this stuff like his. And he's saying State of Decay looking good. And I'm hoping he got something with that, man. But anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm very curious your guys' opinion on it. Put down there, what do you want different in State of Decay 3? I'm going to make a whole video on it. I might take your guys' comments and, put that in the video too. I don't know yet. We'll see. But anyway, without any further ado, you guys have a great day. This is Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.